All right, y'all, we back. Brother F suggested, Brother F suggestion, he wanted to hear our top 3 quotables. However, he suggested it very recently, so we didn't have the most time to think of it. So these are the top 3 hip-hop quotables off the top of the dome, just based off what we remember with minimal time to research. Who wants to go first?
We let our family go first here.
Yo, this goes to literally my favorite song of all time. Even though this person is not my favorite rapper, he still has my favorite song, which contain my favorite bars, which are the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I said the darker the flesh and the deeper the roots. Bro, the poetic layout and the content of the high frequency that it gave every black child, the uplifting of your conscious and your confidence, bro. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I said the darker the flesh and the deeper the roots. Bro, the history that he gave you on slavery and being
within 4 lines.
And, that's how many lines was that?
3, 4 lines, something like that. Real quick.
Yeah, that shit could be just 2 lines and it's still the illest.
Yeah.
That's my favorite
That's
hip-hop
when you start
quotable.
off. That's when you're starting off with.
That's my favorite hip-hop quotable, hands down.
Nice. That's a good one. That's a very good one because, I mean, like you said, the implications of it, you know, about a woman and
it was high frequency. It lifted
absolutely.
you up
You're
instead of
absolutely
low
right.
frequency.
You're absolutely right. And that's a powerful ass song.
Absolutely.
Super.
And the next few bars are equally as dope.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I can keep it going. If you cut it down, it don't even matter.
Yeah.
The whole song.
That keeps going.
Yeah.
So shout out to that. Rest in peace, Tupac.
Shout.
I want to keep it on the same vein and on the same wavelength and energy length. So I'm going to go to the classic of, I believe it was DMC on, I know the song was Down with the Kings for sure. And I believe it was DMC.
Okay.
And when he said this line, I immediately memorized it, felt it, and have never forgotten it. I've used it to write like essays in English class and creative writing classes and shit. So my favorite hip-hop quotable, and I didn't have to think about this one. This is literally my favorite hip-hop quotable ever of all time. Yeah. And it's only G.O.D. could be a king to me. And if the G.O.D. be in me, then the king I'll be. What more can you ask for in a bar and in life?
Dog, yo, you know what's crazy? You know, I just started doing a morning show. You can tap into it 7:30 a.m. every day on HoffaTV.
Live.
And every day I say, only G.O.D. could be the king of me, and if the G.O.D. be in me, every day I say that.
Look at that. You see?
Every day I say that.
That live is too early for me, so I'm going to be honest. I have
No doubt.
not checked in. But that makes sense. That's a perfect way to start your day,
honestly,
end your day.
You got that off because I used that, but I didn't think about writing it today.
That's a good one. That's good.
That definitely.
And props to DMC. That wasn't me. I'm just acknowledging it.
Reiterating.
He thought of that and felt it.
Daryl McDaniels.
No, the legend. So shout out to
DMC.
And shout out to God while we there.
Yeah, right? Well, shout out to us.
And while we there.
Shout out to the Gahhdcast while we here. Yeah.
This is the reason why we're the Gahhdcast.
No doubt.
Because my pick is going to be completely left of what he just said. But equally iconic.
Don't come with no devil bars.
Equally iconic.
Be a witness as I exercise.
No.
Shout out to
my shit is, I got you stuck off the realness. We be the infamous. You heard of us.
I don't see that as negative.
But it's iconic.
It's not negative.
Well, I don't. Yeah, who could debate that? They made being infamous being
cool. Yeah.
How the line goes again?
Or
say it again.
Infamous.
What was it? I got you stuck off the realness. It be the infamous. You heard of us. Official Queensbridge murderers.
Okay, now you're going to the negative.
You see?
I got you stuck off.
But that's why. Like what comes right after. Like
it's probably one of the most famous lines.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And that and Queens get the money, long time no cash.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny?
That's another Prodigy one.
Yeah. So who said I got you stuck off the realness? Prodigy. No, rest in peace, Prodigy.
Yeah.
He manifested that, right? Because he wrote it, and then when we heard it, we was stuck off the realness, and that whole album is a classic. And
but what's crazy though,
top
that
albums.
beat is mad dark.
Yeah,
that beat is not a bright beat. I don't know. I see colors when I hear beats. When I hear songs, I see.
You have
colors.
synesthesia.
Huh?
You have synesthesia.
That's what it's called.
When you see colors.
I see colors.
As music.
Like Cream is a dark blue to me. 808s from Kanye West is like a burgundy reddish. What song? Only G.O.D. That's like a black and silver for me.
I get it.
That one, that's like a dark blue. Shook ones,
yeah.
A dark blue.
Yeah.
But it's dark to me. But he still made it bright. Like that song is.
So I went with that one. I got You Stuck Off the Realness.
I got it.
Yeah,
Dark Blue. I get that too.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
I don't.
It's
maybe other things.
There's connections in there.
You see, but Hell
Black
on
and
Earth.
Gray, Down with the King. The video was black and white.
Yeah.
So
Quiet Storm is like this.
It's
like
infrared.
It's infrared.
It's infrared. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, probably the video had that tone.
Yeah.
So I can see that.
They were in the club and it was red and shit.
Yeah. All right.
So who you got next? What you got next?
Yeah, let me see. First of all, I'm going to say this one and let me know if y'all know where it's from.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Assassination, vaccination, poor education, infatuation with Satan, woke global nation, taxation, microfiber after biological germs, mad cow on a burger in the market, captain up your starship.
I know that, and I want to say it's RZA.
Assassination, vaccination, poor education, infatuation with Satan, woke global nation, taxation.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I want to say that's RZA, but
yeah, that is, man.
That is RZA, right? Yeah.
Bro.
Tragedy, one of my favorite songs and videos. If you've never seen the video for Tragedy, when I was in the Army in boot camp, not to go back to the Army in boot camp, but shout out to that time, and we would be on lunch, they would play videos on the TVs, and in that time frame, they would repeat videos. So every day I would see the RZA video, but I couldn't hear it. And that's just like a movie. It's a karate movie, the video, Tragedy. Shout out to that. Yes, I knew I was right. You telling me? I knew that was the RZA.
He goes off on a mission. His wife
and
is waiting
that
for him,
that hook is an interpolation of a Eurythmics song.
Word.
Yeah.
Tragedy also. Yeah, it's sung by
Yeah.
What's her name? Lisa.
No, Eurythmics is Annie Lennox.
Annie Lennox. Yes.
I'm surprised it wasn't Takitha doing that.
Yeah.
Because Takitha.
Yeah. No, I don't know who's re-sung it.
Yeah,
I don't know who re-sung it, but the original song is that. Yeah. So shout out to that. Shout out to RZA.
Yo,
that song was never on a release, right?
I don't think so.
That song was never on a release.
You know what I think about that song? I think that RZA created a song that was finally giving him, because he never gave you all of him. It was either he was working with Wu-Tang, he was a producer, or he was doing Gravediggers. He never had the solo shit. So I think that when he did Tragedy was for him to cater to his audience and say, I'm gonna bring him into Wu-Tang Forever. Wu-Tang Forever. Wu-Tang Forever. From Shaolin to the whole city.
I feel like that was
so he was
supposed to be on Bobby Digital.
No. Bobby Digital is completely different.
But it didn't. I feel it didn't make Bobby Digital for whatever reason, but I thought it was like the same time frame. Yeah, and I thought that was the lead single for Bobby Digital.
Tragedy?
No. Tragedy came out before Wu-Tang Forever. Bobby Digital came out after Wu-Tang Forever.
Okay. So what did Tragedy land on an album?
Not that I know. Not that I know. Okay. For me, in my opinion, it was just
we gotta ask
his audience to promote the Forever album.
Oh yeah, we gotta ask Max Lowe. Shout out to Max Lowe. Yeah. The hip hop historian. We'll definitely ask him.
I need to have a conversation with him.
Yeah. Oh,
we need to get hip hop trivia time.
Y'all gonna go into the galaxies with your hip hop.
Hip hop galaxies.
Our next one is super. Y'all will all know it. Y'all will all recognize it. It's Hov. If every nigga in your clique is rich, your clique is rugged. Nobody will fall because everyone will be each other's crutches. That's another like life lesson that we should follow and hope to achieve with your friends and your family. And
that's a good one. That's a good one. I don't think it's made that. I don't think that line has made such of a cultural impact
as it should have.
But if you listen to what it's saying, no one will fall because everyone will be each other's crutches. Yeah. That's really powerful
life lesson.
Bro.
Yeah, I think more people should learn it and live it and support.
It was on one of the B cuts on that album, or even C cuts.
What song was that?
That's Feeling It.
Imaginary Player?
No, Feeling It.
Off Reasonable Doubt.
Feeling It.
Yeah.
But I feel like that whole album, in essence, was B cuts because there was no other than Ain't No Nigga.
No, you had.
There was no.
Can't Knock the Hustle. That was a
radio hit. God. Yeah. Was that a single?
It was a single. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did have singles, and he did have the President.
Who do you think you are? And then he had the joint. Wasn't it Reasonable Doubt that he was like a pimp?
That's Can't Knock the Hustle. He's getting shut out.
Yeah.
Oh,
more gangster than pimp.
Yeah. You're right.
But shout out to Hov, the legend.
Anyway, shout out to Hov.
That was a good one. And then even the lines that I hope you fools choose to listen. I drop jewels, bust it. I hope you fools choose to listen.
You fools didn't choose to listen. Listen.
Not listening.
All right, what you got, fam?
All right, I'm gonna go with Hov's arch nemesis, Nasty Nas.
Oh, my next one comes from Nasty Nas as well.
Nasty Nas.
I hope you didn't take mine.
And it's the beginning to Fake Thug, No Love. You get the Slug CV4 Gusto.
Your luck,
Lord.
That and it gave that's one of my favorite. But it gives you at the end a thug changes, love changes, and best friends become strangers.
Another life lesson.
That's what I mean. Like Nas gave you so much. You know,
that's
what I'm
the thing
saying?
about the greats that they teach you.
So that stuck with me for a long. It's still to this day it sticks with me because you think of that. A thug changes, like, because we all change.
Yeah, you have
love
to change.
changes. The love that we have between each other, you know, changes.
Yeah, and hopefully for the better, but it still grows.
And best friends could become strangers.
That's a fact, Jack.
You know what I'm saying? So, like,
damn, bro.
think about that shit. Like, to me, that stuck with me forever. When I first heard that in 1996, it was written, I was like, I was blown away. You know what I'm saying? So, shouts to Nas with that iconic.
I feel like that verse got hip hop quotable back in the day in the source. When the source mattered. It might have.
I feel a little disrespectful that I haven't acknowledged Nas.
Yeah, but that's my goat. So you know how I'm gonna do. You gonna shout out your goat. I'm gonna shout out mine. So there you go. You know what I mean? Nasty Nas with Fake Thug. No
That was your third.
That was my second. That was my second. That was my second. My first one was
I
got you stuck with. My shit is all Queens.
Very Queens.
Yes.
Shout out to that. Shout out to Queens.
Shout out to Queens, baby. Queens got some money, baby. Shouts to Nas.
No love to the Fake Thugs.
No CB4 Gustos.
So,
and shout out to CB4. What a classic movie.
Absolutely.
MC Gusto. Yo, you know I had the soundtrack to that
Murphy,
shit.
bro.
I had the soundtrack. They had that sweat from my balls. You can So all the ladies, 130 pounds of beef. Yeah, cheeky eyes and gold teeth. Blood is dripping. I'm not slipping. Your girlie's panties is what I'm ripping. That shit was hard.
You might be the only person that memorized CB4.
The nigga said straight out of Low Cash. A crazy motherfucker named Dad Mike.
Yo, but that's a classic.
Doesn't he say straight out of Low Cash, crazy motherfucker named Gusto?
Mike.
I fuck your mom because the bitch is a fat hoe. Something like that. Oh my god, bro.
I would have fucked the sister, but the bitch is too fat.
He
said I fucked your mother. I even fucked the cat. I would have fucked the sister, but the bitch is too fat.
That's bars, y'all. If y'all don't know about
Chris Rock, baby, MC Gusto, CB4. Go check it. Charlie Murphy, all them guys.
It's a comedy. It's a comedy.
In the movie, his name Chris Elliott, the white boy, the interviewer.
Yes, Chris Elliott.
Hilarious.
Yeah, the white
underrated
boy, Chris Elliott,
actor in that movie. Hilarious. CB4.
All right, so your last pick.
So one more quotable, and mind you, again, there's
many more. We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back with another list. We'll come back with another list.
Friday night vibes.
Yeah, Friday night vibes off the fucking Henny and Monster. Let's go.
Oh, and my micheladas. Don't forget my micheladas.
There you go.
Shout out to micheladas.
Beer with tomato juice. I like it. Don't judge me.
J.U.J.
Listen, my last one. I had to switch it up because I'm such a golden era of hip hop that I organically lean towards that one.
Mine are all golden era.
Yeah, they are, and mine's all too. But I had a, you know what I mean? I had to
throw one in there.
I had to hit him with the right. So I gotta go with something that we all know, and it's kind of like overdone. But when you really look at it, can y'all take a guess of what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna give you the hints.
I'm intrigued.
Very new. It's brand new, right? Last year, but it really took off this year, bigger than ever. It's a huge line, and it had everybody in a melodic mode during it. But it was still bars, but it was melodic.
A minor.
There you go.
No, I was figuring that. Yeah.
It's just it was so captivating, but it was still lyrical.
Yeah, and everybody knows it.
And then you know, first of all, I'm not blaming anybody because those are all allegations that we don't know. But when you're talking about anything that could be against child molestation, then I'm with you. I'm not with it. So that line becomes more like we represent for a righteous cause of knocking
it makes you want
anybody
to take his side automatically.
Immediately.
And what a fun line.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It fit all the criterias to make sure that this line was memorable.
You got fucking white grandmothers talking about A minor.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So like,
and I wonder if everybody even understands the metaphor,
the implications of it. Yeah.
You know, because obviously, say for all these people who don't know, touching A minor is a key, A minor, but you're touching a child, a minor.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He's saying that against a old boy that, you know what I mean? So it's a metaphor as well. You know what I mean? It's not just a line; it's a metaphor,
and it's gonna be around for a long time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It was at the Super Bowl. Yeah. Come on, let's
go. Super Bowl! You fucking kidding me?
It was at the Super Bowl. Come on.
Bro!
The world-breaking, most viewed Super Bowl, I believe.
That's the other thing,
the most.
It broke Michael Jackson. Unbelievable. Yeah. So, there you go.
Rest in peace to the king.
The king.
Yeah, so shout out to that.
Shout out to that. That's a good one.
Shout out to you for bringing something in
new. Yeah, something new.
When I was gonna say that it's tough to find memorable lines that are released now. You know what I mean? I'm sure there are dope lines and shit, but it's especially when.
Y'all can help us with that. Our newer audience.
I don't listen to a lot of new rappers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll check some out, but I don't listen to every new rapper that comes out. So I definitely don't hear every line. So it's easy for us to defer to the golden age.
Yeah, of course.
So shout out to bringing something.
No, yeah, that was dope. Good shit.
And shout out to that brother, Kendrick. Had a great 2024 into 2025 world tour coming up, stadiums. Just signed on to be an ambassador for, I believe, Chanel. The Super Bowl was this year, so
this nigga's had a great run.
He might be the current king.
He definitely is. He definitely is.
I don't know who can debate him.
He definitely is. He's wearing that crown.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go back to the previous king, or the forever king, or the GOAT.
Oh shit! Here we go.
The nasty one. Esco.
Oh shit.
And
that guy right there.
And this was a 16-year-old Esco when he wrote this, I believe.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Back to the
young
barbecue?
Esco.
Live at the barbecue?
No, I think it was on Illmatic, I'm pretty sure. When he said, I switched my motto. Instead of saying fuck tomorrow, that buck that bought the bottle could have struck the lotto.
Yeah, could have struck the lotto.
And again, I mean, we've all been there, you know, that feeling of fuck tomorrow and not knowing what tomorrow may bring, and then trying to switch it to a positive and be, you know, hopeful and wishful and manifest the right thing and the good thing. And yeah, that was a young Nas, bro. The prophecy and the genius of a young man that took. Yo,
words
what can be said about Nas that hasn't been said?
He took words to another level.
Yeah,
he took
bro,
an art form to another. That's the thing. That's also why he is also. I've said this many times on this platform, and that's why he's my GOAT, because not only did he come into an art form, but he elevated that art form. He made it like something
and continues to.
That's what I mean. Like, he keeps continued not only to preserve but also elevate the art form. So
I think it'd be hard to find a better ambassador of hip hop.
He is the human embodiment of hip hop.
Do you know he also got on the forefront of the hip hop insurance or helping?
The health insurance for rappers.
He did
that program and that presentation, I believe, where he gave Scarface.
Oh yeah,
and he gave someone else. I don't think it was Too Short. It was definitely someone else. Scarface was one and the other, and he gave him like $500,000 each. Just for being legends, I believe. Yeah, just for being legendary hip hop artists.
Yo, man, listen,
giving them the flowers that they didn't get.
Not that the brother says he needs it, but I want to nominate, man, Coke LaRock, bro. Happy belated birthday to Coke LaRock, too, the first MC in hip-hop history. You know what I mean? I think that people like Coke LaRock, Grandmaster Cass, you know what I'm saying? I think that those brothers, you know, deserve some acknowledgement. Jose Feliciano.
Not only some acknowledgement, they deserve
Shout out to Jose Feliciano. We got to acknowledge him, who was one of the guys who inspired Coke LaRock, a Puerto Rican man, and inspired Coke LaRock, which is the first MC, which is validation that Latinos been a part of hip hop since day one. Because it's not a Latino or it's not a black thing. It was, in reality, it was a Bronx thing.
A poor people. I said that. It was a Bronx
poverty,
thing.
A poor people thing, a cultural thing that was happening. So
that's a debate that lingers on. Shout out to all the haters who love to comment and just disregard all input from the Latinos.
Latinos.
70s and 80s, pardon me.
Because really, when you look at hip hop is not bars.
Right.
That's not hip hop. You know, so you can't say the rappers who were rapping were the ones who were the constructors of hip hop. That's not it. Because it was b-boys, graphers, DJs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was hip hop. Now today we might not recognize that as that.
A lot of the elements are gone.
You didn't have to be a rapper to be a
part of to be hip hop.
Fat Five. I never heard Fat Five rap, but he was a fucking super icon and the constructor of, you know what I mean, a hip hop. So.
So speaking,
an argument for another day.
You got one left.
I got one more, and I got one more. And since we're on the vein of Latinos and hip hop and shit, mine comes from the greatest Latino hip hop rapper of all time.
Let's go.
When he said he was dead in the middle of Little Italy.
Oh man,
the way he flipped that.
You gotta say the whole line. Can you catch the whole line?
Dead in the middle of Little Italy. Little did he know that we riddled some middleman who didn't do diddly. You know what I'm saying? So when he said that with no beat. And everybody's like, and everybody knew exactly what he was talking about.
But you know,
and then it's everything that came before and after that song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But you know that line was a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought,
Like the back in the back of the back of the act.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was a joke of him to be.
So even the fact that that's him playing around and he made it iconic.
That is,
you know what I'm saying? So that
he had
shout
to be convinced to include that in the song.
Yeah, exactly.
To,
he wasn't with that,
to folklore.
Exactly. So shouts to Big Pun and shouts to that. Shouts to Twins 90. What was that?
98.
Twins 98. Yeah. So there you go.
Shout out to that. And I thought you were gonna say feeding her chocha pinga while I stick my fingers.
Oh my God.
Similar vein, and that's our top 3 quotables for today. Friday vibes, HoffaTV, Gahhdcast, and we out.
The gods, baby.
Yo, fire. Appreciate it. Love you.